Hello and welcome back to Pittsburgh Vader. In this video I'm still working on the gas line. As you can see, I cut the hole that I needed to run the lines through. The only problem is that if I come around here, I didn't cut these low enough, so I'm going to recut those because the angle that it's at now, it just kinks the hose here. So I'm going to come and cut the pipe around here and then pull this back down and reclamp it. That way I don't get a kink and the gas can flow in and out easily. After I fix that kink, I'll be permanently mounting these fender wells to the car itself. I did this side already. I just screwed it into the metal in a couple places. I'll be adding more of those just to hold it on to make sure it's not going anywhere. And down here, there's a bolt there. I was going to cut it off, but I ended up just cutting the hole for it and then bolting on either side. So right now it is pretty sturdy. It's not going anywhere, but I'm still going to add some more support. After I put the kit on, we test fit it once already with the fender well on, and the corner down here didn't fit right with the kit on the car. So we're probably going to have to trim a little bit, which is normal for these. So I'm going to have to figure that out, and then after we get it all lined up and cut to shape, I'll be adding the rest of this sound deadening stuff along the top and then along the road sometime. After I bond this side to the body, I'm going to be using the rubberized undercoat on the whole bottom, and then that's pretty much all you have to do for the wheel wells. Alright, there we go. I didn't do it on film just because I'm trying to do a lot of this stuff pretty quickly so I can get the body on. But I cut the hose, the original metal stuff. I took another about 4 or 5 inches off, and it ended up around here. I slid the hoses back on and clamped them again. As you can see, there's no kink in the hose. It just flows nicely up how it needs to. And I will be filling this hole in. That way no water gets up or anything. But for now, I'm just going to put the fender wells on and work on getting the body fitted and stuff. So that will be filled in eventually, just not right now. Okay, so we changed up how we're going to do it a little bit. We actually ended up taking the wheel well back off the car. We unbolted it and then we clamped it to the outside of the body itself and then set it down. It was just much easier that way. So now instead of bolting it on, we're going to glue it on with the same panel bonding adhesive we're using for all the tabs. So right now we're gonna head to Lowe's and grab some extra panel bonding, not panel bonding adhesive, some extra clamps so we can clamp everything down. And then we're gonna come back and we're going to bond everything down that we can right now, including the body, the wheel wells, and all that kind of stuff. So after this, the body's never coming off again. So we're gonna go do that and I'll show you what I end up doing for it. Alright, we're back and we got like 10 clamps. So this is definitely enough. We're just gonna, after we glue, we're just gonna clamp everything down, make sure nothing moves, and let it sit so it all dries, and then we can take them off and let it cure overnight. There we go. We glued down the windshield support, each of the tabs here, and the side rails and everything. We temporarily bolted those down just so it stays. We didn't have a huge clamp to go over that, so we just screwed that down. That'll come out later. We'll probably end up having to cut the head off since it's through the glue. Everything else worked out great. We used an entire bottle of this panel bonding adhesive just for the few tabs and the support bars. So right now we just have to let it sit for at least 4 hours before we can take the clamps off. we're probably going to leave the clamps on overnight just so we make sure it doesn't end up moving or something. So for now, it's just basically waiting. So I'm going to come back when it's done drying and take it off and make sure it worked. It's been a couple hours since we glued the car down. We still have all the clamps on and we'll leave them on overnight. But we did come over here and we got the next hinge installed. We broke a bolt. No, we didn't break it. We cross-threaded it. So we need to get a new bolt for here. Not too big of a deal. We also took this plate off here. There's one on the other side. It controls how far out it comes. We're going to be cutting those to length so the door doesn't swing out as far. So I'm going to take that off and the other side off, and we're going to go cut those. But for now, we're going to actually back up to the front of the car, and we're going to see if we can get these headlights wired before it gets dark out here. So if we can get this one done, then I'll do the other one tomorrow, and then put the taillights and stuff back in. So it'll technically be street legal here, but we'll see. Alright, so we only plugged in one of the wires on the car for the new headlights, and this lights up and the turn signal works. So we still have to finish wiring up everything else, but for right now, it's going great, and I'm really excited to get these installed. I have the other one to do, so we're going to figure out how to get the rest of it wired and then try to mount it on the car. Alright, so unfortunately we ran out of daylight yesterday, so we didn't get the headlights installed, so I ended up taking those out and pulling the car in. But it is the next day, so I'm going to be unclamping all of the clamps and just making sure that everything's stuck the way it's supposed to. And then I'm going to do some other stuff on the car, maybe come back to the headlights, but we'll see. Now that the body is glued down, I'm going to be tracing a line around the rear windshield area. I'm measuring about a ½ an inch in, that way there's a lip to glue onto, and I'll be making that line all the way around and then cutting it out. I won't be installing the new windshield just yet. I need to do all the body work around it and make sure everything's okay and smooth before I install the windshield, just to make it a little bit easier. So while I was filming the time lapse of me cutting this side out, the camera was on the body just so I had a good close shot. I wasn't really thinking that the vibrations from cutting it out was going to move the tripod, so I missed pretty much most of me cutting that out. So I'm not going to set it up for the other side just because I don't really have a good location to put the camera, but it's pretty simple. I just drilled some holes in the corners, and then I did 2 in the middle, and I just went at it with the body saw all the way across and then just kind of followed the line. I went a little bit above it, that way I can sand everything smooth, and it's pretty much it. Just cut it out, and then the new windshield for the rear will be glued in eventually after I do some body work around it. And there we go. I got the area for the rear windshield cut out. You can see through. And obviously I still have to touch up. I'm going to even this all out, smooth it out and everything before I install the actual windshield. But for now, this is going to help us with backing up and stuff like that, because before we couldn't see anything behind it. So I'm going to get the shop vac out, clean up all this mess, and then see what else I'm going to do. Another nice thing about the body being bonded down to the car is it's no longer going to be moved around and risk breaking anything, or if I do body work, it's not going to flex and crack what I put on there. So now that this is down, I can go and fill in a lot of these little nicks and stuff and start doing the actual body work on the body itself. So I'm going to actually get a different Bondo. Some people were complaining that I was using the normal red Bondo on the rest of the kit. So instead of doing that, I'll be getting something else. I did some research, so I'll try to find out the best thing to use. And for now, I'm just going to go see what I can find, and that's it for this video. So stay tuned for the next one, and as always, thanks for watching. 2, 1.